organizer, I am making Siddharth as an organizer, and I am also making Vikram as an organizer. Okay, Vikram has joined on the mobile. What happened on mobile? Vikram, from today morning you are joining on the mobile.
Yeah, Sundar, I'm in a different place actually, so I didn't carry my laptop.
Okay, no sure. So what happened? So first of all, I have installed the versioning tool, which is going to be the SVN. So if I right click, you can see the Tata SVN is coming. So this is a tool actually. So what is our basically role is nothing but we have to see now. So don't say. So what we have to do here is we need to just create a. Okay, so you have a software and the people are working on the file. So let's say that payroll.java. This is a file that we are using, right? So what happens is Sundar is there and Sundar made a change. So Sundar made a change on this in this product, which is a payroll.java. And what happens is again Pranita is coming and Pranita also is working in the same file. Because we are working in the Agile, right? It doesn't mean that only one file can work on that project. Only one person will work on the project. Because Pranita is working, Sundar is working on one module, the module one of the payroll system. Okay, he is working for module 1 in the payroll, this one. So the Pranita is working on module 2. Okay, and again the same module 1 is getting changed. So tomorrow what Chetan is doing is he is also making some change. For example, here Sid. Okay, Sid is also making change in module 3. So he is also making some change, and he is also overwriting the file. But what happened here is, so the same file is getting modified. So whose change will be the latest change now? Tell me guys, whose change is the latest change now? Please don't go on mute, guys.
3 of them, if I'm not wrong, Sundar. Since they are making changes, since they are making changes on different modules.
No, the file is one, right? That the payroll.java, the file is one single file, right?
Yeah.
So inside that there can be a lot of functions. Who is that? Sorry, boss.
Siddharth.
Siddharth. Yes. Siddharth change will be the latest change. But what happened here is, so it doesn't mean that it has to be. So for example, tomorrow I just want to check only the Sundar's change. So it doesn't mean that only the Siddharth change should be there as the latest one. If you want any time, you need to go back to the Sundar's change also. So you have to take it. So what now this is a version. Okay, you see this is the version 1 of the file, V1 of the file. This is going to be the V2 of the file, version 2 of the file, and this is the V3 of a file. So any version can be controlled. Okay, or any version can be retrieved, or any version can be, so the people can work together. So it means that it doesn't mean that only Siddharth has to change his code. If he want to change the Sundar's code also, the version of code also, he can change it. So there will be a conflict will be there. The concept is called conflict resolution. So there will be a conflict while you are doing all these people. So that is called as a conflict resolution mechanism. So you can just resolve the conflict and you can commit the file or save the file. So the version control system is very much required in any software development to make the changes or to control the changes or to trace the changes and to maintain the history, who has did what on the which appropriate time, and if you want to roll back to the correct location, you can go at the any point of time. So it is like our lifeline photograph. Okay, so there is something called a lifeline in the Facebook, right? So 1 year back what happened, so tomorrow what happened, sorry, what will happen, and so all this timeline will be there as a snapshot. Each and everything can be written as a snapshot. That is technically called as a revision number. Okay, revision number, we are just going with the revision number and it will be incremented with each and every repository. So here it is technically called as a repository. You will be creating a repository and that will be acting as the central repository. Okay, So from that repository, what you will do is you will take the code into your local and you will be working in that repository. So this is called as a central place of the repository or a project repository. You will take in your laptop or workstation and you will work on it and commit the code in the central repository. So this is what every day-to-day life you are going to do it. Okay, now we are going to, so for this, normally this is a point number 1, version controlling system. So this is going to be a SVN for you. Now we are going to talk about SVN. After a few minutes, we are going to talk about Git. Okay, so here, when we are talking about the SVN, we have to talk about the repository. So what you need to have is you need to create the repository. So in this repository, your code will be there. So let's say repo, and it is going to be a online blog, some product. So, or really, it is going to be a repository. You are going to create a repository first, and from that repository, the users are going to, in your company, you will be having a different users. So these users will be accessing your repository from their local. And always the file, whatever they do development, it will be stored in this repository, so that the changes will not be lost, and whatever changes they have did, it will be there. So now what is the process that is called as each and every changes that you have to mention, that is called as a revision number. So always revision number will be revision number. So revision number will be the unique number, and it will be always incremented by 1, 2, 3 and n, something like it goes on. Okay, so it goes on like this. So this is called as a revision number. So this place is called as a central location, is called as a central repo, and this is called as a local repo, or I would call it as a working copy. So working copy of the repository. So each developer will be having the working copy of their repository. The working copy of their repository, and they will be working on that repository. It's like this. So everything are the working copy of this repository. Okay. So and from that they will do some changes and they will make the commit. So this is how it works in SVN. Okay, so the same thing will be working in the Git. I will tell you, first I will show the SVN part, and after that we will jump into the Git. Okay, so now what we need to do, first and foremost thing, you have to create the repository, correct? You have to create the repository for your project to put your code in the safest place. So what you can do in the world is nothing but you can use the Tata's SVN. What I will do, first I will create a repository. So demo repo SVN repo. Okay, so I have just created a folder, and inside this folder I am going to create the repository. It means that this repository in a real time, normally it will be created in the server. But what I am doing here is I am just doing it in the local machine because of the technical issues. We don't have to create that in the server. Just only the Git part we will be handling like that. But this is the SVN part, so we will just handling in the local itself. So Tata's SVN, create the repository. So I am just creating a repository, and there is some default folder structure. If you want, you can make it, otherwise you can just leave it. So I have created the default folder structure here, and okay, I said okay. Now this is the central repository now. So as I mentioned here, this is going to be the central repository which I have created. Now I need to make some changes in the central repository. Means you cannot just directly put some changes or commit. So it is called as a commit. Saving the changes inside the repository is called as a commit. That operation is called as a commit. You cannot directly do this commit here. So you have to take the code, or it means that you have to check out. This process is called checkout. So check out the repo and do the commit. So this is what the concept of SVN talks always. Okay, so check out the repository and do the commit. This is what I would say. So what we have to do is, once this repository is created, just right click on it and go to this and say that SVN checkout. So you see what I have did is I just right click on the repository and said checkout. So what is happening? So this is the place, and always automatically it is checking with the word called WC, which is a working copy. I told you, right? Why you need to take the working copy? If you want to make some changes on your repository, you have to make the changes only from the working copy, because it is a central repository, and everybody cannot just go to the central repository and make the changes. So you have to take the changes and commit it so that the history will be maintained here. So that is the advantage, or that is a process that you have to follow it. Okay, so what is happening here is, so once I put the SVN checkout, automatically the whatever, so you see the first is the revision number 1, because it is the first change of the repository. Automatically you can see something called WC. You see WC. So this repository got checked out here. But if you see, the folder structure will be different. This is original repository folder structure. Okay, it is the tool. So repository tool and the required folders are here. But here if you see, it will be an empty repository with the branches. So I told you, right, the default branches can be created while you are just creating a repository itself. So what is this default branches? Trunk is a branch. Just imagine about the tree. Okay, trunk is a main and branch is the sub from the trunk, and tags are nothing but from the branches. So we will not concentrate about this workflow now. So just we will go to the trunk, and you can choose any other folder. And what you can do, I am just going to create a new file. So what file I am just going to do? I am just going to create hello_world.java. So hello world.java. I am just creating a folder called file called hello world.java. Okay, and once you created a file, what you have to do? So you have to commit the file. So if you want to commit a file, what you have to do first is, you just right click and say .svn and add the file. If it is a new file, you need to add the file. After that, you have to commit the file. Okay. So you can see, yeah, it seems it is added. So once it is added, what you do is commit the file. You see, you can add it. So while you are committing it, just you can put some history message. So SRA first commit. So first time I am just adding a file into the repository. You see now, I got, and the revision number is 2. It got incremented because this is a second action inside your repository. Now you can see, this hello world.java is there, and you can check in the repository browser. There is something called repo browser will be there. Okay, Tata is SVN repo browser. So you can just give this repository name. It can be this one, right? Demo SVN repo SVN. So if I say okay, you can just check what are all the files and folders which is there inside this one. It can be there. It is a bookmark. Okay, trunk. You can see inside the trunk you have the hello world.java. So anybody can just work on this hello world.java from this location. You see, it becomes it comes as a repo browser to you, repository browser. So this is the way that you can just create a. So what I have did is I have created a repository and I have added a file inside that repository. Understood? Or not clear? If something is not clear, tell me, I will do it again. So what I will share you everything again. So first what I have did, I have created the repository. So what is the repository which I have created? Demo SVN or demo something which I have created. What is it? Demo repo SVN. Okay. So demo repo SVN. So this is the one which I have created, the repository. So how I have used, so I have used TORTOISE as SVN software to do that. So where I have created in the normal machine. Okay. So in my laptop. So I need to add now the file. So I need to add a file into this repository. This is the goal, right? Every repository is getting created to just handle the files. So how to put the files or how to do the things? First of all, you need to go with the process called checkout. that I have told you, right? So what is this checkout? So checkout is a process, okay, of making this checkout. If you are doing the SVN checkout only, this repository will be come into your local. So from there, you can, what you can do is you can just create a file. If it is already existing, you can modify the file. And if it is a new file, you add it and commit it. Otherwise, if it is a old file, just make the change and do the commit. So once you commit, this operation is called SVN commit. Whenever you do the SVN commit, what happens? So this operation is called SVN commit. So once the commit is success, from this local repository, the files will reach to the central repository. Okay, so once the file reaches to a central repository, if again the Pranita is coming and taking the code or check out the code. So Pranita is coming and check out this repository. So what happens? Whatever Sundar got, what made the changes, so that copy will be going to Pranita. So like this, n number of users will be there in a company and they will be just pushing the files into this location. Understood. Now you understand what is this requirement of repositories in the industry and how it is getting used, correct? So this is the SVN way of doing it. So this is what the SVN, how it works. But the same thing, what I have told you, now I am just going to make again a brief introduction or elaborate discussion. That is going to be the Git. Git is the same mechanism, but little difference will be there. We are going to talk about it. But before going to Git, you have to understand this concept. What is this central repository? So this repository is called as a central repository. Central repo. And this is the local repo. It is not a local repo, it is a local copy of that repo. Okay? So from this local copy, you have to commit it. How to take the local copy? By using an operation called SVN checkout. So SVN checkout, SVN commit. And SVN add and SVN commit is the command which is very much helpful for you. Okay.
Sundar, I have a question here. When you say checkout, is it if you check out from Devo or this central repo, then only we can create a file in local copy. That's what you're saying, right?
Correct. Correct. If you want to make any changes on the central repository of your SVN, any repository in the world, if you want to make some changes on your central repository of your world, okay, you need to have that copy in your local, then you can make the changes. It is not only on this SVN. So only the clear case and team city it is different, but most of the repository concept in the world, version control system in the world, have to get you that particular source into your local and you have to make the changes.
Okay.
So to get the local changes, to make get the changes or get the code base in your local, that operation is called as a checkout operation.
Okay.
Same operation in the Git, I am going to call that as a clone. But that's fine. So we will talk that later. But yeah, go ahead with your question.
You don't need to check out while updating this, committing the data from local copy, is it? No?
Why should you check out? Because you are going to do that operation in the checkout location only.
Okay, so here checkout is nothing but creating a local copy in a system.
Exactly. See, what I am doing is, I have this repository, right? If I just click and say checkout, so the checkout SVN copy for what I can say is demo SVN. So instead of this, what I am going to say is Sundar's WC. So what I am going to get? So I have Sundar's WC here, right? So now what is happening? So Sundar will just edit this file now. Sundar will edit this file and say hi Sundar, and what he will do? He will commit it back.
Okay.
So he is going to just do the commit, and he is going to say second commit on the same file. You see, second commit on the same file by Sundar.
Okay.
By Sundar. So this is the thing I am just updated. So now what
Yes.
is happening here is the first Sundar has taken this copy. So somebody has already having the local copy, right? This local copy will not be having these changes. You see, same hello world.java is there with nothing. But now the Sundar, what he did is he has just taken that and he has made some changes and it says hi Sundar, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
So this is how it works. Wait, I will come to that story. Wait, I am making some scenarios. So now what is happening is Vikram is coming and Vikram is also working on the same product, correct? So Vikram is checking out and Vikram is saying that okay. So Vikram's copy. So it will be there in his Vikram system, Vikram's WC. So now while the Vikram is taking, Vikram will be what Vikram is doing is Vikram will be having the latest one with the hi Sundar word, right? What he is telling is what he is doing is he is just putting hi Vikram. So some changes on the same file. He is doing the changes on the same file and he is committing it back. Third commit. Okay, so done. Then what Sundar doesn't know, right? Vikram has done the change, did the changes. So now whose change is the latest one? Vikram's change, correct? So now if
Yes.
you just go and check the file or check the history, so SVN log, if you are just going to see the log of that, show log, you can just see this file first time it got added and after that some person has committed it, which is a second commit and the third commit. So this is the revision number. So this is called version. If you want to just check this version, you can just go and say open and you see only hi Sundar is there. There is no hi Vikram is there. So this is the purpose of going for this versioning control system. So you can control the each and every version of the file inside your product. Understood. Even though multiple person are working on the same file, each and every people development or changes will be tracked and it can be monitored. It can be, if any issue is there, they can do it. For example, Mahendra asked me, right? Mahendra yesterday asked me, suppose if I have deleted the file from this location, what should we do, boss? This is what the question he asked me, right? Yesterday.
Yes, Sundar.
Okay. So this is the answer for that. If you have the version control system on the place, you can just easily retrieve the changes whatever you have did. For example, now Vikram is coming and what Vikram is doing is Vikram is deleting this file. So he is deleting the file called hello world.java from that place. So from our location. So what he is doing is he is just doing SVN delete. He deleted it and after deleting it what he did is he has also committed it. You see this file got deleted by Vikram. That's it. So it's gone, it's deleted now. So if you just put SVN update, it will not work. So now what is happening here? What can be done? So now if the person is somebody is coming, so if Siddharth is coming now and Siddharth is trying to just to check it out. Okay, Siddh is coming and check it out. Siddh is coming and checking out that, and Siddh will be surprised because there is no file there. You see in the front, there is no file. Siddh will be astonished or Mahendra will be astonished. So what he will do is he will just go and check the log. What you can do, so show log and it clearly says this is the revision number where say Vikram has deleted this file by mistake. So what we have to do is you can just go to this revision where there is a good file is there. So what you can do, you can just check it out, this file. So where to check it out? So we are going to check it out to the SID working copy. You see now it got checked out. So once it got checked out, what you have to do? So you can do SVN, just a moment. ஏன்பா இந்த பார் இந்த இது வச்சு 1 second guys இந்த இது போய் சார்ஜ் போடுங்க போ. So now what is happening is, yeah, you have to just add this file because it is going to be a new file, right? So you can just check, yeah, it is there is no add is there, so you have to just commit it. So because it's a own file, right? So what you can do is just put a SRA, but you see it is not working. So what you have to do is you just need to do with SVN add, and after that, right? No. Okay, sorry. So what we have to do here is, so if you want, you just go to your log, and you can just say update the item to the revision number or revert to this revision. So this is also possible. So what you can do is you can just revert to this revision. Okay. So I am just doing the revert, and you see it got reverted. So it is adding hello world.java txt into your local. So it will be added now. Okay. Now you can do the commit. You can clearly do your commit now. So SRA restored the file. Now you see this hello world.java is restored. Even though some person has deleted it, it can be restored if it is versionized, which is there, which is maintained by the versioning control tool. Now such kind of backups is not required. So even though if it is an open source tool, that this tool is giving this many good things to you. Don't ask me that I have did some local changes before committing. I have deleted this file. So how can I restore it? That is not possible. Now you understand how the people are working with this version control system in the real time. Now what is happening here is Sundar is checked out, right? Sundar is not having any, just hi Sundar is there. There is no hi Vikram is there. Now if Sundar wants to get the latest change of this repository, what he can do is he can use a command called SVN update. If we are just doing an SVN update, what will happen is it will go and check this local version to your remote version, which is your central repository. So it will automatically sync. You see the hi Vikram is added here. So if you have the oldest version of this file, so if you are having the old version of that file, what you can do is it will automatically get the newest version from your central repository. That is the advantage of having the SVN update. Okay. There it is called as a git pull. So here it is called as a SVN update. So we will be talking about this. So the very important concept is nothing but, technically if I want to talk, the first is nothing but create a repo, and after that check out the repo. So why you need to check out? To add the file or to edit any content. So to put the content to your repository, so you have to use the checkout, and after checkout you will be calling as a working copy. Working copy will have the content. So working copy will be having the content. So once you add the, first of all, what is the process? SVN add and SVN commit. So once you do the SVN commit, the revision number will be generated and you will be seeing that. So finally you can also use the SVN log to just check the history of that. And finally, if you want to update, if you are just putting the update, what will happening is synchronization will happen. Sync, S-Y-N-C. Sync will happen, okay. Between whom? The sync will happen between the local, that is working copy WC, and your repository. So which is a central repository. Understood? So this is a simple process of SVN. Okay, so this is how it works, the SVN. Any doubts? So this is your repository. So what I have did is, okay, Sundar, what is SRA stands for? It's a comment message for the history, that's it. if you are committing something, it will be asking to put some comment, so that if you are checking the log, some meaningful information will be there. See, if you see here, I am just going to here and say that show the log. So if I am showing the log of this one, you see here. So this is the things which happened. 6 revision things happened on this file or on this branch. So first time you have added it, second time also something got added, third time you have deleted it, fourth time deleted it, fifth time deleted it. This is modification, this is modification, this is deletion, this is addition. So every time the message I am putting, right, SRA restored, deleted by Vikram, SRA first commit. So SRA is nothing but the Sundarajan Ramaswamy. Okay. Pranita Garu, what are you doing?
Yes, Sundar, I'm clear.
You are talking something, or you are talking from well?
Not
Well means Bavi, Kenaru. Talk loudly, Pranita. There is some technical issue maybe with you.
now okay, Sundar?
It can be better. Okay, explain me. Are you getting the point, or pin drop silence from your side? So just tell me whether you are getting the point or not.
No, I'm clear, Sundar.
You are clear.
It means
What is SVN update? What is SVN update? Sundar has checked out a copy. He has made some changes. After that, Pranita is making some second change, but Sundar doesn't know Pranita has made the change. So I need to get the Pranita's change now, latest change. So what Sundar will do now? Sundar has so Sundar has made some changes in the repository, and after that Pranita has added some files on the repository. So Sundar doesn't know Pranita has added a file. So Sundar's local copy will be having the version which is not having the change of Pranita. So now, if Sundar want to get the latest copy from Pranita also, what Sundar need to do now?
Update.
Very good. So you have to do an SVN update. So what is the SVN update now? The SVN update is a sync between your local copy and the central copy. And if there is any change from the central copy which is not there in the local copy, it will be updated. Vice versa is not possible. If you need to do that vice versa, that is called as a SVN commit.
Okay, before
That's it.
Before the commit, we need to update the file, right? That's
Exactly. Before the commit, you have to update the file. Otherwise, you will be called as a stupid, and sometimes you will be fired from the company also, because you will be overwriting the others' changes, right?
Yes.
You will be overwriting the others' changes, and it is very difficult to again for that guy to see the changes and merge, because he will be changing 300 lines in the code. And just because of your carelessness, if you are just deleting those things by using your merge, because the file name is same.
Yes.
Same file you people are working, because that is what the complexity of our architecture is in the agile. Okay.
Okay. And here, when
So
we get conflict, what we have to do, sir?
We will talk later. Conflict, if you are having the conflict, there is something called merging concept. Okay.
Yeah.
You and me has to come to some conclusion. Okay. Then the result, we both need to resolve our conflicts. For example, what happens here is, I will tell you, I will try to make some conflict and show you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But up to this, is it clear?
Yes.
Prabhakar Garu.
Yes, Sundar.
Clear? What is working copy? What is working copy? The copy which is not working is called working copy, correct? That is also not correct. What is this, Prabhakar? You have to say yes or no to me. What is working copy? Anybody else?
It's a local copy by the user.
Wasn't in your system.
Very good. Okay, that is called as a working copy. Fine. So, can we commit a file or can we make some changes without the working copy? Yes or no?
No.
Why?
So because the mechanism will not allow you to make changes to the system without having a copy, because there is a chance where it can.
I mean, we
Yeah.
cannot.
So without checkout,
File.
you cannot again check in the things. Correct. So without checkout process, we cannot just do the commit. So if you are making the checkout process, then automatically the working copy should be created. So it doesn't make sense that if there is no working copy, you cannot do the changes in your repository. Okay. Prabhakar, is it clear, Prabhakar? Please tell me
Yes.
if it is not clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So shall we make some conflict now? So this is how the real time why. Now you understand why the source control system is very important in our software industry, especially for the developers and the release of the software product. Anything can be retrievable, anything can be mergeable, anything can be manageable, and there is a trace, there is a history, and any miscommunication or misdeletion or miscalculation of your code will be easily catched by using this mechanism. Okay. And you cannot play with the code like test. Okay, do this commit. Okay, if it is not working, again do this changes. So each and every changes of your code will be displayed here. So your lead or your manager can easily find that are you playing with this code, so don't do like this, such things. So you cannot just do as a playground or trial and error method with this, because once you committed, it is with the history. So they will be asking why so much time without testing you have committed the code and it is getting failed, and why you have just did a lot of changes. So it can be easily traceable and trackable. Okay. And if any issues are there also, you can just go back and up and front you can do easily. Okay, fine. So now what is happening here is, so now what we will do is we will make some issue. Okay, we will make some issue. So what is happening here? So Vikram and Sundar, these guys are working, right? So what is happening here is, so Pranita is coming inside, and what she is doing is, so she is taking, so she started the development. She is taking out her copy. Okay, Pranita copy. Pranita WC. So once you do this, so Pranita came. What she is doing is, she is making the changes not in the third line. She is doing the changes in the second line. So it means that she is overwriting the Vikram's work. Correct? Do you understand now? She wants to add something on the second line, and which overwrites the Vikram's one. Vikram's change. Actually, Vikram has put his hi Vikram should be there in the second line, but she made that as a third line, and she is trying to commit it. So it means that she is overwriting the changes, Vikram's changes, for some other reason. It can be a good reason also. She required that. So now what happens here is, so you just do a SVN commit now. So conflict demo for conflict. So I'm just putting demo, conflict demo. So now you see committing transaction, it is completed. Oh my God. Why it is not throwing me an error? Okay. So that's fine. So what we will do now is, okay, so Pranita has committed this, right? So now what is happening, what Vikram is doing is, or Siddharth is doing here is, he is just going and checking this one only. Hi Sundar and Vikram is there. So what he is going to do is, he is just going to do an update to get the latest copy. So while he is doing an update, we can see, you see, so this is happened. This second line got updated. Okay. So let me try to make some issue here. Oh my God. I have not created the correct conflict. Let me think now, how can I create the conflict here? Okay. So what this guy is doing here is, now here it will not also be, there is no conflict. It will not be, there will not be any conflict here.
Sundar, Mahendra here.
Yes, Mahendra.
If I'm not wrong, I'm just giving a guess. If I'm not wrong, I think Pranita should edit the file without updating it, and then what do you mean? And then check.
That is fine. That is fine. So if nobody is updating that, if she is not updating that, for sure the conflict will happen.
Okay.
See, that is the very lazy way of creating the conflict.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that always the conflict. So if you are doing like this, it is a flaw actually. So you cannot consider that as a conflict. It is a mistake which is done by the developer, and developer has to be warned for that. If it is a serious issue, they will issue the memo for also the developer if such developers are doing like that.
Okay.
Okay. So without update, you are not supposed to commit anything. So this is a rule of SVN version control system. If you are not, so commit, that is C should be done before C. Sorry, yeah. So you should be done before C. This is what the people will tell. Update should be done before the commit, always. I am trying to make the real scenario. Sometimes it happens, the conflict, real conflict can happen. So that's what I'm trying to put it. So the same place, the third line is having 3 one time. So this is having 3 here by one guy. Okay, so yeah, so that is possible. Wait, I know how to make the commit. So now updated, fine. So now it will go fine. Now what is happening here is, so Pranita, Siddharth, what he is doing is, he is taking the latest now. So he is doing the, update, and he is seeing that okay, this is a 1, but what he is telling is instead of 3, he is making it as a 4, F-O-U-R, 4. The same line, he is making that as a 4 and trying to commit. There is no conflict. It's updating as a 4. Actually, the conflict may be there because there is a 3 and this guy is updating that as a 4. But if you are not doing any SVN update, for sure there will be an issue. You see now. So now it is updated as 4, right? Now if you are saying that Pranita is there, so Pranita will go and check, it should be 3. So what Pranita will be doing again is, so she will be taking that as a 3 is something like this, okay, and without updating she will be just trying to commit it now. So here the issue will be there now. You see here this is a commit which is out of date. It is not also a commit, it is saying it is an out of date. So it is asking you to update this first and after that commit it. So now update. If you are updating it, there is a conflict. So one or more conflicted state is there. Yes, so what is happening here is, yeah, there is some conflict. So say okay, and you said, so aborting this remains a conflicted state. So now we will see what is the conflict. We will be having a manual conflict file. Whenever there is a conflict file, this will be like this. So normal hello world or jar will be having this string. So this here is the conflict. It starts up to this, there is a conflict. So there is a 3 SRA is there and 3 is there and 4 is there. So what you want? So two people are having the conflict here. So what you can do is manually you can just edit the file. Okay, so what I am doing is I am just making the change of 2 people here. Okay, so I am just editing this manually. Okay, and a lot of unnecessary files will be created because it tells the your conflict. So it talks only about this your conflict, and the other 2 files will be created, which is going to be a previous file. So all this file you just delete from your local. Now you need to just have only this file, and what you can do is you just say now commit. So now it will be committed. You see. So this is the way of manually resolving the conflict, but we have did that in a very lazy way. But normally, if anything is happening going wrong in the real time, so this kind of conflict will be rising. So if there is a conflict, so you have to manually resolve the conflict. You have to delete the conflict files, and you have to do that. So this you cannot directly do it. You have to consult with the developers and you need to ask them to resolve the conflict. Okay, so this will happen while you are doing the, most probably when you are doing the merge, this conflict will be happening. So we will be talking about merge part later. So the real-time conflict will be happening while you are doing the merge. Okay, normally here will not happen. So if it is happening, you have to resolve like that. Okay, got the point?
Sundar, one quick doubt, Mahendra here.
Mm-hmm.
What will be the exact work of a DevOps engineer with SVN? Is it just extracting the files and then creating a local repository and then committing it, or how? What will be the work of the DevOps engineer?
So yeah, so here the DevOps engineer should be, if the person does not know how to commit or how to do this activity, you have to teach them to the developer. So you have to be a tutor or the expert in this. Not lot of developers doesn't know this operation. They don't know this. Okay, so you have to teach them. So this is the first one. So, but normally they should know about this. This setup, right? So creating the repository. Some person will come and say that, yeah, please create this new repository for you, and that is possible. And taking the backup of these repositories are also possible. So the branching and the workflow. So we will be talking more about the Git. Okay. So while we are talking about the Git, I will tell you a lot of responsibility of the DevOps engineer for this one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But normally you will not commit the file or you will not edit all those things. So you will never touch this. Okay. So, but if you are claiming yourself or claiming it is correct. If you claim yourself as the repository or SCM engineer, so you have to know this process, right? So that's the reason I am just teaching you the basics, and after that I am just going entering to the main concepts. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you need to also merge the branches, so that is possible. So you have to merge the branches. So you need to create the branches sometimes. So you will create the branches and you will be maintaining the branches, and you will be deciding your branching technique. So I will be teaching you while I am teaching Git the branching technique. So this, for that and all, you are responsible for that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So what we will do is, okay, I let you to practice this first of all, and after that we will jump into Git. Because now if I am jumping into Git, it will be very hard for you to just grab it. Okay, so you will feel demotivated. So you try to practice this one and come back to me. So tomorrow what you have to do is you have to create the repository, and in that repository you need to add a file called F1 or whatever file. You just need to add it. That's it. And try to work on the SVN update part also, if possible. And tomorrow we will try to create a branch. So maybe we will try to, okay, branching and all we will be talking with the Git. No, sure, not now. Okay, up to this, is it clear regarding the SVN part?
Mahendra here, sir. One more doubt.
Yes.
Like, how does this will work with AWS? Like, I mean, in the sense, how can we make it work with AWS instances?
What is AWS instance?
It's a server.
Yes. So where this repository should be created?
So okay, so basically we'll create it in the server first,
Exactly.
and then
So
we'll create a local
you need
repository to
to,
the user.
exactly. So you see this repository which I have told you, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be created in the AWS instance.
Okay.
So anything, that is what I told you. Right now we are doing in the local machine. So this will be done in the AWS instance, EC2 instance.
Okay.
Because you need a server to run your SVN repository, right?
Yeah.
So in okay, so since it is a Git, which is so I'm just giving the introduction part, trailer to you. The main picture is coming with the Git. So Git, we will be installing that on the EC2 instance, and we will be making the server master slave concept and the access management, everything we will be doing it.
Okay.
And the same Git can also be installed, or without installation you will be using something called GitHub. So I will ask you to create the account in GitHub, and directly without this infrastructure, you see, without this infrastructure you can use the Git service by using Git directly by the server installation or by using a service which is a cloud.
Okay.
So 2 ways you can use the Git. So we will be talking about that. So but since you asked this question, even any repository versioning tool has to be installed in a server. It can be a physical server or it can be a AWS instance. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye bye. Yeah. Rest. Do you have any other questions, guys? Vikram?
No, Sundar, I'm clear.
You are clear. Good. Okay. So can you send this recording to Chetan also, Mr. Chetan? He is not feeling well, it seems.
Sundar, I'm not recording because I'm on mobile today. I'm asking Mahendra to send it.
So, okay. Mahendra, please send it to Chetan too, right?
Yeah, Sundar. Sundar,
Okay.
one last
Bye-bye.
quick doubt. This is regarding this Linux. Basically, you know, when we create files using a touch and then a bit like VA, and then we'll directly go to the editor and create, let's say, F1, F2. What will be the format of those files? Because if you are mentioning .txt, is it going to be text? If you're not mentioning any extension, what is that file going to be? Format?
Yeah. So I will explain you. Okay, here itself we can work, right? Touch command, even touch command here it's okay. Okay, touch command and VIF2. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are just, it will be just a ASCII text for that. That's it. Oh my God, sorry. Oh my God. So file F1 and file F2. You see, it is just an empty file and this is ASCII text. That's it. So yeah, so I will just put something with F1 also. So something is there. Now you can just see both are ASCII text file. Okay. It doesn't know about it's a text file or it's a WordPad file or it's a ultra edit file. For it, it's going to be the ASCII text. That's it. And if it is going to be a var or jar, it is going to be called as a archive. That's it. It doesn't know more than that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Just .txt, .log and all, it's just a name for that. That's it. But not really it talks about that. So maybe if you can just see, I have something called, this is a file command. So file command is a command, it talks about the way of the file. Okay, zip. So you see now it is archive data. It is telling it's an archive data.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how the Linux will be classifying that file.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. See you. See you on the tomorrow same time. Bye bye.
Bye, Santa.